Welcome to a new way. He has put you on a new journey. Hold close to him and follow what he says. Sent the final prophet Muhammad to mankind a mercy. Welcome to a new way. He has put you on a new journey. Hold close to him and follow what he says. Sent the final prophet Muhammad to mankind a mercy. Welcome to a new way. He has put you on a new journey. Hold close to him and follow what he says. Sent the final prophet Muhammad to mankind a mercy. Welcome to a new way. He has put you on a new journey. Hold close to him and follow what he says. Sent the final prophet Muhammad to mankind a mercy. Know your Lord. We learn about his names and his attributes. Know your Lord. What he approves and disapproves. Know your Lord. Believe in all things that he has brought forth. Know his oneness, Lord.
Know Your Lord, part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid, right here on Sunnahfollowers. Being taught by Ustada Layla Nashiba as she lays down the foundations to get you together. Learn about your Lord. Know your Lord. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers.
He said, pray as you see me pray. Utter these words that you hear me say. Based on the Sunnah, worship him, just follow them.
Oh, excuse me. Inna alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I'd like to welcome everybody to our Aqidah class, and we're discussing what it means to believe in Allah, okay, which is what you need to know if you plan on making it to paradise, if you plan on making it through the punishments of the grave and all of that. And we have to think about death, because death is a part of life, and death can come at any moment. People die unexpectedly. I don't know anyone that died knowing that they was going to die. You know, it always, even if you're diagnosed with a sickness, it always catch you when you least expect it. Okay, so we need to prepare ourselves for death. And the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam trained the companions as to how to prepare for death, and he left so many hadiths behind, speaking to us about the importance of preparing ourselves, you know, for that time that we least expect, the destroyer of life. He said, never, ever, ever forget the destroyer of pleasure. Never, ever, ever forget the destroyer of life, and that is death. Okay. So it's all about getting to know your Lord. It's all about knowing your Lord. The more you have a relationship with the Lord, the better your chances of making it through to the afterlife in a good way. There's another hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, hope for a good ending, a good ending. You know, we should long for a good ending, not a bad ending. You don't want to have your last breath taken when you're in a state of disobedience to Allah. You don't want to have your last breath taken when you're sinning. Okay, you want to go with a good ending, doing an action or a deed that's pleasing to Allah. And this is very important for us as Muslims to try to understand. Okay, this is even more harder for us to do because as human beings, our personal jinn is always trying to take us away from the right way. He's trying to take us away from the straight path. And he's always trying to get us to wander down a path that takes us away from Allah, not what brings us close to Allah. So that's why it's all about your belief system. It doesn't matter how many good deeds you do in this world. It doesn't matter how much charity you gave. It doesn't matter how many homeless people you fed, how many orphans you cared for. If your aqidah, if you do not truly believe La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and if that understanding, if your understanding of that statement is not exactly as the companions understood it to be, all your good deeds are just a mirage. They go up in smoke. So that's why here at Sunnahfollowers, we put emphasis on Aqidah. You can read all the Quran in the world. That Quran is not going to save you from the hellfire if your beliefs in Allah is not correct. So the emphasis is and always will be Aqidah, 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 Tawheed. That's what it should be for all of us. And before I start today's lecture, let me answer a question that one of the brothers sent to me, because there are so many Muslims on the internet, on social media, call themselves calling you to the truth and all of that. And I'm telling you, if you're not sound, if you don't enter into Islam wholeheartedly, you will become just another victim, and you will end up becoming an awliya or an ally of shaitan. Somebody sent me a question today asking me why I don't teach from these books. He listed the books that y'all hear every day on the internet, books written by men, early scholars. And he asked me why I don't ever teach these books when these are classical books. Yeah, they're classical books that the early imams used to give dawah to people that didn't believe in Allah. Okay? But are those classical books sources of Islam? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. If you truly believe La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah and understand everything that comes with it, you should know what the sources of Islam are. Are the sources of Islam books that are written by early scholars? Are those the sources of the book of Islam? Did the Prophet Muhammad teach from books written by early scholars? It's an oxymoron, isn't it? Of course not. Number one, they didn't exist. Number two, he was the prophet, not them. Number three, Islam is only based on two sources, and I tell you new shahadas this every day. The sources of Islam are not Islam Q&A website. The sources of Islam are not books written by men and women of today. The sources of Islam are not books written by men and women of yesterday. What are the two sources of Islam? The Quran, which are the words of Allah. That's the first source. And the second source of Islam are the things that the Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said. So, of course, I don't have to teach from a book written by Tom, Dick, Jones, Abdul Rahman, or anyone else. I don't even have to teach from this book. Okay? Because number one, I know my religion and I know what the sources of Islam are. And everything that I teach, I've been teaching Islam for over 50 years. Everything that I teach is based on the two sources, which is the Quran and the authentic hadith. So I don't need to use anybody's books, whether those men live today or they lived yesterday. That's how we roll. When you know the Quran and you know the Sunnah, you don't need nobody else's broke down version. You don't need nobody else's explanation. You don't need anyone else's opinion to explain. My English is better than most of you guys. I speak grassroots American English, so I can communicate to anybody that speaks English, whether you come from the UK, Australia, Ireland, or America. My English is more simple than theirs. And I know the Quran. I know the Hadith. So why do I have to use somebody's classical book when that person was not the prophet? That person wasn't even a companion of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when you brothers send me those type of emails and questions, I find them insulting. You want to know why they're insulting? Because it shows that you personally do not know the basics of Islam. And for anyone to challenge Layla Nashiba, I don't like that. I don't like to be challenged. Okay? And normally, if you challenge me, I'm going to make you wear egg because that's just my nature. Sorry. I'm a warrior by nature. I come from a line of warriors. All right? So don't challenge me. Go learn your religion. If you want to learn Islam from a book written by some man or woman, more power to you. Power to the people. But I will continue to teach the way I've been teaching since I was 12 years old, based on the two sources, the Quran and the Sunnah. Because when you read those books written by Tom, Dick, and Jones, you don't even understand the words that they're using. Just like even with this book. This book is written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. And by the way, this is the best book. I repeat, I've been teaching Islam since I was 12 years old. And I know my religion. I've never seen Aqidah broken down as well as he has done in this trilogy. And I highly recommend that every English-speaking Muslim buy this trilogy. But even with his books, I have to re-explain them to you because you don't understand English, because English changes, as I prove to you guys here every day. Like Dr. Asim said in his class today, you cannot teach yourself this religion. You have to find a teacher. So you can go read the classical books written by the early scholars. And I can guarantee you, you ain't going to understand anything that's in there because you have to sit down, like the prophet said, with the people of knowledge and learn directly from them so they can break it down to you, explain to you what Tawheed or Rububiyah means, give you examples of it in the language you speak today, not the language that was spoken 100 years ago. So please, guys, don't waste my time with emails like that. You're ignorant. I just hate to say it. You guys are ignorant. If you don't send me questions like that, go to the brothers that do teach them classes, because most of the brothers on YouTube teach from those classical books. You hear the same thing over and over again. But if you ask them to explain the difference between Allah's Rahmah, they can't break it down and explain it to you. You ask them, what's the difference between a Rahman and a Rahim? They won't be able to tell you the difference. They'll pretend like me no speako Inglo. Don't waste my time. Okay? Like I tell you guys, my dawah is directed towards women. I don't have a problem with you brothers coming here to learn, but don't you dare come here to try to challenge me, because I ain't got time for that. I'm sorry. I'm not a typical female. I'm a warrior, and I like to play. If y'all get it? Warriors come out to play. That's a famous movie from the 70s. I like to play. I love it. I want to die playing. I want to die playing warrior. So I'm not your typical female. And I tell you men this every day. You got the wrong woman here. Don't play with Layla. Because I don't play. I play to die. You ready? All right. This is why I stay single. I can't stand men half the time. You know, somebody asked me today, why don't you get married? Let me tell you something. Y'all can take y'all marriage and shove it. I ain't got time for no dude. I be gonna kick this butt. Bottom line. That's it. I'm ready to play. Let's bring it to the death. Sick of you stupid men. Gonna ask me why come? Why come I won't teach from some classical book written by somebody that you don't know in a language you don't speak, and even the English translation uses words larger than 4 letters, when you can't even read English and understand the meaning of a word that's longer than 4 letters? How dare you send me a stupid email like that? You better get up out my face. You know, get out of here. You're just an idiot. All right, let's get started. Yeah, I had to make that a statement. Yeah, I tried to hold it in. You know, my doctor told me it ain't good to hold your emotions in. Let's talk about it, bros. You know, women ain't like men. I'm not going to sit here and pretend and be soft, because I ain't supposed to be soft. I'm a female. When I talk publicly, I'm supposed to be just like I am, intimidating. And when you step on my toes, I will get aggressive. I'll get aggressive to the death. Okay? I'm not typical. I'm 1 in a million. You'll never. Okay? My doctor told me, don't hold it in when you on that internet doing your classes later, because you got a lot of good information. My doctors are Muslims, you know. My doctors say your dawah is right on time. My doctors say when you on that internet and you're teaching, because you're teaching the truth, and some idiot come in there, he said, don't hold it in, give it to him, because it'll make you feel better. And you know it'll make Allah feel good, because Allah likes when people defend his religion the correct way. So I ain't holding nothing in. Don't come in here with that yang to me. Go talk that crap to these women on the internet, not to me, because I'm not a typical female. I'm one in a million, rare. You know, that black bird with the red beak that the prophet spoke about? I'm that black bird with the red beak. One in a million. So you brothers better get up out of here with that nonsense. I got time for that. All right, let's get back to the basics. And what we're talking about today is Allah's name, Ar-Rahman. We've been speaking about Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, which refer to Allah's attribute and name, because these are his names, but they refer to his attributes of mercy. We talked about how that special mercy Allah only shows to a select few in this world and in the hereafter. Okay? We answered the question as to whether or not Allah would show that special mercy even to a non-believer. We answered that question in this world. But will that non-believer have that special mercy in the hereafter? We answered all of that. And then yesterday, we spoke about how you can become a person that's deserving of that special mercy. We talked about the people who Allah shows that special mercy to. We talked about 5 different categories, in fact. We went over 5 different groups or categories of people whom Allah shows that special mercy to. Who can tell me what some of those categories were? Who can tell me what some of those categories of people are that Allah shows that special mercy to? Anyone? Zoom room, what's going on in there?
I'll try to give it a try, Sister Layla.
Thank you.
The one that seeks forgiveness. One who seeks forgiveness.
We talked about that. One of the categories of people whom Allah shows his special mercy to are those believers who seek forgiveness of their sins on a regular basis. Allah loves those people that seek forgiveness on a regular basis. How many of us fall in that category? When I was going over those categories yesterday, I asked you guys, all of you should be in at least one category. Hopefully, many of you are in that category of people who are regular in seeking forgiveness of their sins. What's another category of people that Allah shows his mercy to? Good job, Fatima. Sister Fatima. She said, those Muslims who strive to attain excellence. Exactly. That's probably a characteristic and a category of Sister Fatima. I'm pretty sure Fatima falls in that category of Muslims who want to be the best. They strive for excellence in everything that they do. They don't just perform their obligations half-heartedly. They go into them wholeheartedly. Good job, Fatima. Let's see, another category. MashaAllah, Sister Akiz. This is probably the category that she attached herself to. Those who are obedient, those Muslims who live their lives obeying Allah, submitting to what he says without asking why, without asking how. They submit. They say, "Oh Allah, I hear you. Oh Allah, I obey you." And they submit. Good job, Akiz. MashaAllah. Okay, good job, Mina. We got another category of people who are deserving of that special mercy of Allah. Those Muslims, and this is what we're going to speak about today. Those believers amongst us who show mercy to others. Oh my God. This is what Dr. Asim spoke about today. And this also goes hand in hand with my "don't get it twisted" intro that I just gave. Okay? We're lacking in mercy. You know, we have no mercy with each other. You want to attack a woman on the internet who spends every day of her life not out in the streets. She's at home every day in her house, teaching Islam in its truthfulness with the understanding of those companions. You have no mercy towards her. You have no mercy towards a woman like that. And not only that, she's an old woman. I'm 63 years old. You have no mercy towards an old believing woman who has devoted her life to this deen, to teaching it to others. We have no mercy. But you got mercy for women. You got mercy for Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. You got mercy for some nun. Yeah, that's special Ar-Rahim. Allah shows it to those who are merciful to others. So good job. Anybody in the Zoom room with another category that we haven't mentioned? Y'all wanted to add before I move on? Because this is today's topic.
Yeah, Muslims who call upon. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Either one of you.
Those who obey Allah without asking why or questioning him.
Oh, we already said that. Thank you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't hear. Sorry.
Go ahead, Mina.
Those Muslims who call upon Allah, praising him and glorify him, using his name, Ar-Rahman.
That's what I'd fall in that category too. Yes, and as Brother Edward is saying, I'm answering your question now. Brother Edward said, can we be in 3 or 4 categories? Yes, you can be in all of them. That's one of my categories. I'm always saying, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, Wadahu la sharika Allah. And I'm always saying, Allahu Akbar, Ar-Rahim, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. One of the kids here that are my Sunnah-follower kids, his mother called me and she said, Layla, he loves the Fatiha. He loves to recite the Fatiha. Why? Because he says Allah's name, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Oh my God. Okay. A person who loves to call upon Allah using that name, the most merciful. Our Lord is the most merciful. Me and Amina friends know we're speaking about that in the Zoom room earlier. How merciful Allah is. People who call upon Allah, who glorify, praise him, and call upon him with that name, these are people who Allah will show his mercy to. And also, good job, Fatima. Fatima says she falls in this category. Muslims who establish their prayers and give in charity. That should be all of us. All of us should pray our prayers every day. This is one category that all of us should fall in. We all establish our prayers and pray them every day within the time frame. And we pray them the way the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us to pray them. And we give in charity. We support this website. By the way, this is a question that one of the new shahadas asked me. She said, Sister Layla, by me donating to the website, is this a form of zakat? Yes. Zakat is an Arabic word that simply means charity in English. This website is a nonprofit organization. Every time you guys donate, you fall in this category right here. You're a Muslim who gives in charity. For you Muslims that donate every month, like my Zoom people, they donate on a regular basis. This is the category that all of y'all are in. All my students are in this category. They establish their prayers and they give in charity on a regular basis. So that's why, inshallah, all of my students should be receiving the mercy of Allah. Allah is helping you to pass your final exams in college. Allah has blessed you with good husbands. Allah has blessed you with beautiful, healthy children. And for the ones that are not married, Allah has blessed you with good jobs. So you can find that good man that can provide for you in accordance to how your father did. Why? Because you are a person deserving of a rahim, because you establish your prayers and you give in charity on a regular basis. A lot of benefits to donating to this website. A lot of benefits in being consistent in your donations. So, mashallah, good job, Sister Fatima. So these are all examples, of what we talked about yesterday. People who are deserving of Allah's rahim. Well, today we're going to speak even more about it. Let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And by the way, has the lag caught up? Is it lagging less? In other words, Mina?
A little bit.
Yeah, because I think it's snowing here where I live, so it might be my internet connection. I meant to reboot it because of the snow, and that wind is blowing crazy. Y'all know I live out here in the waterfalls. Whenever it rains and snows, the waterfalls, that wind blows crazy. So I think it's blowing my internet. Okay, I'm gonna reboot the whole router. Usually when the weather gets like this, I reboot the router, and I didn't do it. I meant to do it, but I was busy in the Zoom room running my mouth. I meant to reboot the router. Okay, can everybody see? And by the way, for those of you who are new joining me, this is the book for this class. It's called Know Your Lord. There was a sister on Twitter yesterday. If that sister on Twitter is here to learn the deen, and I hope Brother Adam is. Adam seems to have some issues. Brother Adam, I hope Adam pops in here. You guys have to, law is not going to change the condition of a person until that person takes the steps to change the condition of himself. You Muslims have to learn your deen, and you have to learn it correctly and be consistent instead of popping into threads asking questions. You need to sit down in a thread and learn, take notes. This is the book we're using. This is the book, and this is the only book I've ever used for Aqidah because I could never find one written in English well enough for you guys. This is by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd. That's his picture. A lot of people ask me, why do I use his picture? Because you need to know, especially today, know who you're taking your knowledge from. That's why I use my picture too. You need to know who I am. That's me. You need to know who he is. That's him. And that's his book. Know Your Lord. You have the children's version and the adult version. Get both of them. So your children can join my classes too, like the other kids here are. They should be watching me on the big screen TV. Turn me on the 65-inch screen. Yeah, Black Friday's here. You want to get you an 85-inch TV? Y'all better check out Walmart. They got 85 inches for real cheap, Black Friday. Okay? Get one, put me on the 85-inch screen. Okay, so the kids can follow. And tonight we're going to be covering pages 203 to 208. And it speaks about the importance of us showing mercy to others. And this is what Dr. Asim spoke about today in his class. He spoke about how to build the best human, how each and every one of us as Muslims should be working on developing ourselves into being the best human being that we can be. And for us Muslims, it shouldn't be hard to do, because all we have to do is follow the guidance that Allah has set forth for us, not from a book written by some person, but from the words of Allah in the Quran and what our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam exampled for us in his Sunnah. This is what we talked about: building the human based on Islam. And one of the things he talked about is your personality and your character should be one of mercy. We have to work on being merciful to others, showing mercy to others. Okay, Allah is Ar-Rahman. He's the most merciful. And Allah is Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahim. That's his mercy connected to his will. He gives that special mercy to whomever he wills. Well, we should be merciful too in our actions and interactions with each other, because Allah tells us that for those of us, this is another category, for those of us who show mercy to his creation, he will show mercy to you. You brothers ask me, why you having a hard time in life? You ain't got a job. You ain't got no place to live. You having it hard. You sisters having it hard. Are you a merciful person? When is the last time you showed mercy to one of Allah's creation? If we are more merciful and kind with each other, and when we talk about the English word mercy, let's break it down. This is the science of the Quran, the science of the Hadith. Again, another example as to why I don't have to teach from a book written by, that's a famous book that other brothers teach from who don't understand their religion. I don't need a format. I understand my religion, okay? I know the science. I know how to break down analyze the meaning of words. When you look at mercy, mercy is an English word that takes on so many other synonyms. A person of mercy is a person who is loving. For example, a synonym of mercy would be loving, a loving mother, a loving father, okay? A loving care provider. Subhanallah, you're a nurse. Oh, she's a loving nurse. That means she has compassion for her patients. She has empathy for her patients. So these are all synonyms of the meaning of mercy. A person of mercy is a person that is loving, compassionate, and who knows how to empathize with others. And not only is a merciful person loving and compassionate, but he's also kind. This is a person that's kind. They treat other people with kindness and respect. Y'all see? Mercy. How many of us are merciful? Most of us are mean and rotten. Most of us are disrespectful. Most of us are envious, jealous, ill-mannered. A merciful person has good manners, okay? Kindness, respect, compassion, empathy. He's able to put himself. What does empathy mean? I'm able to put myself in the shoes of another person and imagine how I'd want people to treat me if I were in their shoes. Not only is a merciful person empathetic, but a merciful person falls in a category of what our prophet said. A merciful person does unto others what you'd want them to do unto you. I'm going to treat you the way you'd want me to treat I'm going to treat you the way I'd want you to treat me. I'm not going to challenge you. Nobody likes to be challenged. No man likes it, and women really don't like it. I'm here to tell you, women are more emotional than men. If a man gets angry at you for challenging them, imagine what it does to Layla Nashiba. Imagine what it does to a Viking Arabic warrior who's 1 in a million, who's of a dying breed. I'm a dying breed. You would never find a woman like me. When I'm dead and gone, no other woman can ever be like me. That's how unique and dying and rare I am. How do you think I feel being challenged? When my philosophy is give me my sword and give me my Quran and let's rock and roll to the death. Don't challenge me. Is that what a merciful person would do? Nobody likes to be challenged, critiqued like that. All right? So, this is what we're going to talk about. Allah shows mercy to those of us who are merciful to others. If you're going around disrespecting people, challenging people, abusing people, oppressing people, hurting people with your tongue, harming people with your hands, you want to know why your life is miserable? Let's take a look. Okay? Put the PowerPoint up. Okay, I got the new Shahada. She said, thank you for this lesson, Sister Layla. You are making it so clear. Yeah, I got to be real. Like I tell you guys, one thing about learning from me, I do not sugarcoat this religion. I will never sugarcoat it. I'm going to give you the truth. And the truth is a bitter pill to swallow. And I don't fear nobody or nothing but Allah. Okay? That's not harsh. That's a person that's rare. Okay? So, anyway, yeah. But thanks for the compliment. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me, I'm going to make it bigger. Yes, and by the way, the brother here is asking, can he screenshot? Yes, that's what you're supposed to do. Screenshot, brother Timothy. Yeah, here you go, Timothy. Screenshot all the PowerPoints. So that way, since you're new to Islam too, Timothy, I want you to screenshot. So that way you can print everything out after class, okay? All right, so yes. Okay, the teachings of Islam demand for us as Muslims to be merciful as much as we can in our dealings with others. So we have to strive to be this way, not just with each other, but even with Allah's earth, even with Allah's other creations like the animals. We're also merciful, as Dr. Assam said in his class. By the way, Sister Mina, do you guys see how Dr. Assam's class goes hand in hand with what I'm teaching? Do y'all see how he gave y'all the intro to what I'm talking about today? Do y'all see that in Zoom?
Yes, I heard some of it.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is what I'm telling y'all. Dr. Asim pays attention, okay, to what I'm teaching y'all in this class, and he bases his stuff off of that for you guys. You're going to put into action with him what you're learning here, okay? That's being Mekhalsid, being Mekhasidic, okay? So as Muslims, we have to strive to be merciful, not just in our dealings with each other, but with the rest of Allah's creation, the earth, the animals, and also with non-Muslim people too. Okay? This is a reality. And the attribute of Allah's mercy we talked about is associated with his other supporting characteristics of kindness, which is what I was saying earlier. A person that's merciful is a person that's kind. A person that's merciful is a person that's compassionate. A person that's merciful is a person that has love for you. And a person of mercy is a person that is tolerant and patient and forgiving. You want to treat others the way you want them to treat you. So we have to strive as Muslims to be this way. And that's what's meant when you hear people say emulate. When you learn Allah's names and attributes, try to emulate them. That means try to apply them to yourself. Try to apply them to your life. Like Dr. Asim was teaching in his class today, how to build the human personality. Your personality should be one that's tolerant, patient. Y'all see where he got it from? Tolerant, patient, forgiving, kind, compassionate, and loving. Because that's how our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was. As his wife Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said, our prophet, his personality, he was a walking, talking Quran. He's the one we should try to emulate, not these men that wrote books. We're supposed to emulate the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Listen to what Allah says and the interpretation, the meaning. And we have not sent you, Muhammad, except as a mercy to the worlds. Subhanallah, our Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was sent as a mercy to all mankind and all jinn and all animals and all the creation. Subhanallah. Now, listen to what Ibn Taymiyyah, he was one of the early scholars. Listen to what he said in regards to what Allah has said here. He said the adherence to the methodology of the people of the Sunnah and the Muslim community, they obey Allah. And they obey his prophet, and they follow the truth, and they show mercy to the creation. So this early scholar is basically saying the same thing that I am saying to you today. That's why I don't have to teach from his book. For the brother that sent me that email, I don't have to teach from Ibn Taymiyyah's book, because his book is saying what I already teach anyway. Because we all follow the Quran and the Sunnah. Okay? I know the Quran. I know the Sunnah. Now for you, maybe you learning from his book would be great. But you can't teach yourself from his book because you're not going to understand anything that he's saying. You still need a teacher. But I don't have to teach from his books. All I got to do is teach from the Quran and the Sunnah. Because you'll see what he says is what I say. All the people of the Sunnah, we say the same thing. Our Aqidah is the same. Okay? Hope that's clear to you. So thus, guys, we must do our best as Muslims to be merciful to the entire creation of Allah. That includes the animals, the earth. What do I mean by the earth? Who can give me an example of being merciful to the earth? Anyone from Zoom, give me an example of being merciful to the earth.
Not littering.
Exactly, not littering. Good job. Not littering. When you got garbage, throw it in a garbage can. Don't throw it out in the street. Don't dirty Allah's earth unnecessarily. So that's how we show mercy to the earth. Give me an example as to how we show mercy to an animal, someone.
Giving them water and food.
Good job. You got a pet. Every time you feed your cat, every time you water your cat, every time you change that cat's litter box, this is mercy. And Allah is going to reward you for that. Oh, yeah. See how simple Islam is. So we do our best to show mercy to the entire creation, even to the non-Muslims. How do we show mercy to a non-Muslim? Anyone?
By greeting them when you see them and being nice to them, even though you don't believe what they believe in.
MashaAllah. Exactly. I'm going to say good morning to my neighbor, even though, she's not my religion. And I'm going to treat her nicely. If I see her needing some help with her groceries, I'm going to help her with them. If I see somebody damaging her house or her car or her property, I'm going to come and help her. If I see her children in need of help, I'm going to be there. Even if I had money and she needed help paying her rent, I'm going to help her pay her rent. That's mercy. Remember the synonyms of mercy: kindness, compassion, patience, forgiveness. Okay, so as Muslims, we do our best to be merciful to all of Allah's creation. And even to our most bitter enemies. Who can give me an example of showing mercy to your most bitter enemy? I'll give you an example. The simple fact that I remove my bans. How many times have I banned you? Just another voice. I ban you every day, but I still show mercy by releasing those bans every day too. How do you show mercy to your bitter enemies? Even though you brothers like to come in here and try to show challenge me, I still let you come when I could just as easily kick you to the moon like other brothers do to you. That's why y'all in my stream, because the men won't let you in theirs. But out of the mercy in my heart, because I pray that by you coming here, that something I say will penetrate that hardened heart of yours, I allow you to come and listen to me. That's mercy to even your most bitter enemy. Y'all see that? Do y'all get that example, Layla, and the rest of y'all?
Yes.
I'm using YouTube as an example because we on YouTube. Y'all can relate to that, tubers. Okay. Yeah, I could be like these brothers and just don't let them come in my stream at all. Okay. All right. So naturally, it makes a believer want to be more merciful to others when he or she knows that Allah will show it to us in return. We have this hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, whoever is not merciful to people will not be shown mercy from Allah. This hadith is authentic. And this is another example, brother, where I don't have to teach from a book written by some classical person. I know the hadith. I don't need to use his book. as a reference for anything, nor do I need his explanation, because I know the hadith too. And my explanation is just as good as his, might be even better, because I'm going to break it down in plain English. When the person that translated the book used horrible English. All right. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us that if you're going around being harsh and cruel and oppressive to the people, Allah is not going to show you mercy. So if you believe in him, that's going to make you strive to be a better person. That's what Dr. Ash was talking about, how to build the human. I'm going to make myself become more merciful. That's how I'm building, developing myself to become a better human. Also in another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, be merciful to the people on earth, and you will be shown mercy from he who is above the heavens. This is also more dalil, more proof of where is Allah. Allah is above his creation. He's above the heavens. He's not down here with you and me. Okay. So mercy is a means, that brings about love, kindness, compassion from Allah. And also, it even helps us in our personal lives, with our relatives, our co-workers, and all of that. Does everybody understand? Even though most people on earth are non-believers, we can still live amongst them in peace if we simply adhere to Allah's commands, show mercy to them, even though they're non-Muslims. When I go to work, even though my co-workers are non-Muslim, they might even be gay in there. They drink, they smoke, they fornicate, adulterate, they curse. But still, I have to work with them as a team on the job. So I show mercy. I hate them for the sake of Allah. Remember, we talked about that yesterday. What does it mean to hate for the sake of Allah? That means to hate what Allah hates. Allah hates alcohol. Allah hates a drugger. Allah hates a fornicator. I hate those things too. But I'm going to show mercy and put that all aside on the job. If I see a client attacking one of my coworkers, I'm going to come to my coworker's aid. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh no, he's a kafir, or, that person does drugs, or that person's LGBTQ. I have to do my job. Okay? I got to have that person's back on this job. But when we punch out, I do el-bara. I'm going to distance myself from them. Okay, so mercy is how we keep good relations with our co-workers, with our neighbors, and with our relatives. Okay? And of course, everything begins with your parents. Who are the people most deserving of our mercy? The first group of people most deserving of our mercy is your parents. And it doesn't matter if your parents are Muslim or non-Muslim. You still have to be merciful, which means kind, patient, compassionate, tolerant, loving when you deal with them. In fact, Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, who is one of the original companions, the one that the Prophet made dua for, asking Allah to give him a deep understanding of the Quran. He said 3 verses were revealed in regards to things that connect with other things. And what this means is 1 verse will not be accepted unless you accept its counter verse. And here's one of the examples where Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, perform the prayer and give in charity and submit yourselves with obedience to Allah. You have to do all three of these things. Okay? You have to do all three of these things. One thing is not accepted without its counterpart. Your prayers is not accepted without the counterparts. Whoever prays and does not give charity, his prayer is not accepted. Whoever gives charity, but he doesn't pray, his charity is not accepted. And whoever does not submit and obey Allah, nothing is accepted. That's why I tell you guys, a lot of you sisters don't wear hijab, but some of these imams at these mosques will tell you, don't worry about it. It's okay. Just make your prayers. That imam is a lurky, dorky idiot, because Allah tells us that he does not accept any of your good deeds if you are deliberately, intentionally disobeying him. So all the prayers you making and you don't wear a hijab, you just doing exercises. They don't count. Just like fasting the month of Ramadan. You can fast the month of Ramadan all you want to. All you're doing is starving yourself if you're not wearing hijab. That's why you new shahadas got to obey Allah. Also, another verse is, look how Allah connects these two things together. He says, be grateful to me and to your parents. So Allah is letting you know in this verse, whoever is grateful to him, but you don't have gratitude towards your parents, Allah doesn't accept from you. You see that? So your parents are important. You cannot be a person who disrespects your mother, who shows no compassion towards your mother and father. You show no sympathy and empathy towards your mother and father. You have no forgiveness for them. You have no tolerance for them. You have no patience for them, but you say you're grateful to Allah. Allah doesn't accept that. You have to also have gratitude towards your parents. And then the third example that Ibn Abbas gives us is this one, where Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, obey Allah and obey the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you do not believe in the hadiths, you are not a Muslim. If you do not obey the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah does not accept from you, because obedience to him is also contingent upon your obedience to the Prophet. Another reason why I don't teach from books written by men. I teach from only what our Prophet said. Okay? Does everybody understand that? So, parents, you have to have mercy towards your parents if you want Allah to be merciful towards you. If you have no mercy towards your parents, Allah doesn't accept. And I know this is hard from us, because some of us had some bad parents. This is something that many of us struggle with. We think about the things that our parents did to us that they should not have done, or how unfair our parents have been with us. But you're going to have to put that on the side and still give them their due. When your mother is sick, you have to be there to help her if you can. If your father needs help, you have to go and help him if you're able. You have to put aside all that other stuff and be merciful to them, especially in their old age, when they forget things, when they get sick. Your mother has to go to the hospital. You should be with her. Forget about how she did things to you when you were younger. Your father, needs somebody to sit with him. You sit with him. So the parents are deserving of our mercy more than anyone else. And then after them, our children. our children. Remember, our children are a gift given to us by Allah. And the children have rights too. As Muslim parents, we have to show mercy to them. As we talked about today, we have to teach them self-confidence. We have to teach them self-love. We have to have compassion for them. And we have to encourage them to follow the example of the Prophet Muhammad and trust only in Allah. It's the obligation of the mother and the father to light the fitra within the heart of their children and educate them of this religion correctly. Okay? That's being merciful to them. A lot of the parents today show no mercy to their kids. We put our kids in front of the television or the computer and we go out and do our thing and think the TV and the computer is going to babysit them. That's not showing mercy to them. Our Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's the best role model. He was very merciful with the children and not just his own children. When the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, would come back from traveling, all the children would be waiting for him to greet him, and he put them on his back. He carried them. He joked with them. He greeted them all and made all the children, feel special. Okay? We have one hadith whereas the prophet was seen kissing and hugging a child, and this child didn't even belong to him. And one of the Bedouin Arabs, he said, "You kiss children?" He said, "I have 10 children and I've never hugged them. I've never kissed them." And that's when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "I can't help it." He said, "I can't help it. If Allah has not put mercy in your heart," he said, "Allah does not show mercy to anyone who doesn't show mercy to others." Subhanallah. A lot of Arabs. And we got people today that still don't hug and kiss their kids. Also, we have another example. There was a little boy. He had a pet bird. He used to walk around playing with a nightingale. He had a nightingale. And the Prophet used to tease him about his red nightingale. And so one day, the Prophet went to visit the little boy's family. And the little boy was sitting there looking sad. And the Prophet noticed that he didn't have his red nightingale. So the Prophet said, "Where's your bird? Where's your bird?" And his brother said, "His bird died." And the Prophet said, "Oh no, how sad. Your beautiful nightingale died." Subhanallah. We have to show compassion and mercy and love towards our children, guys. And not just the children, not just your parents, but also with your husband and wives. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Indeed, among the believers with the most complete faith or complete belief in Allah are those who are best in their actions and who are kind to their family." How many of you are kind to your wives, kind to your husbands? It's so easy for you to come home from a hard day at work and take it out on your wife. Or a woman, you having a hard day with the kids, your husband comes home and you take it out on him. We have to be more merciful with each other. And this is why we have such a high divorce rate today as Muslims, because we're too busy as a couple chasing that dream of the dunya, trying to make that money, trying to have the life of the dunya, that we have no mercy, no compassion, no love for each other. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning. And of his signs is that he created for you from amongst yourselves mates, so that you may find peace in them. And he placed between you two affection and mercy. Indeed, in that are signs for a people who give thought. Subhanallah. Your husband, your wife is supposed to be your helpmate in life, your supporter, your confidant, your champion. How many of you brothers champion your women? How many of you sisters have your husband's back? Oh yeah, a man needs a woman that's going to have his back. Like Khadijah had the Prophet Muhammad's back when he would go out and Abu Jahl and Abu Lahab would curse him and throw dung on him. Khadijah would come out the house and she'd say, leave him alone. I am the daughter of Kuwailit, because she was the daughter of a great warrior, a chief that they all respected. So she would remind the men, leave him alone. I am the daughter of Kuwailit and I am his wife. They let him go. When those Jews tried to curse the prophet, when he was walking home with his wife Aisha, and they wished death upon him, Aisha had his back. She had his back. She said, you don't talk that way to him. A man needs a woman that's going to have his back too. Salama, whenever the prophet went out for battle, he took Salama as his war advisor. She would advise him. She had his back because she was the cousin of Khalid bin Walid. And she was a military genius just like Khalid was. And she could spar with a sword just like Khalid too. So who were the two army advisors for the prophet? Salama and Khalid bin Walid, her cousin. She had his back on the battlefield. And when she saw the battle getting intense, she'd take her sword up and go out there, and her and Khalid would go back to back with each other, protecting the prophet. A man needs a woman that's going to have his back too. How many of us do that? We don't. Not today. We're too busy like the Kafir men and women. And finally, we have to also show mercy to our relatives. It don't matter if he's black, white, Palestinian, Egyptian, Moroccan. We got to get along. Can we all just get along as a family? Allah says in a beautiful hadith cutscene, I will keep good relations with the one who will keep good relations with the kinship. And whoever severs the kinship, I will sever my relationship with him. You want to treat your brother-in-law bad because he's black, and your sister who's Arab married a black man. You know, this is wrong. Where's your mercy? Where's your compassion? You want to treat your sister-in-law bad because she's Moroccan instead of being Egyptian. Come on, where's your mercy? You know, we have to get along with each other. We don't have to like each other as a family, but at least show kindness, show compassion, show tolerance, show patience with each other when we come together. We have a hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah, he created the creation, and when he finished, mercy and the womb appeared. And that's when Allah told the womb, because the womb said, I seek refuge in you from anyone who will sever me. And that's when Allah told him, you know, whoever keeps good relations with you, I will keep good relations with him. Again, guys, as a family, we got to set aside this petty crap because of race, because I don't like him. I just don't like him, you know, and get along with each other, tolerate each other for the simple fact that Allah will show mercy to those of us who are merciful with others. So again, guys, this shows the importance of taking Allah's attributes and trying to emulate them within yourself. We did the attributes of Rahman, of Rahim. You want that special mercy from Allah. You want that encompassing general mercy from Allah. When's the last time you showed either one to some other creation of Allah? When did you show it to your parents? When did you show it to your children, to your wife, to your husband, to your neighbor, to the Muslims around you, the non-Muslim, the traveler, the stranger that needed help because their tire was flat? When is the last time that you saw a bird with a broken wing and you picked the bird up, you know, put it back in its nest? When is the last time you saw something laying in the street that could actually cause harm to a car or to a passerby and you decided to pull over and take it out the street? We all say that we want Allah to acknowledge us. We want Allah to help us. We want Allah to change the condition that we're in. Well, the question is, what steps have you taken to change the condition of yourself? All right. So I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Are there any questions? And by the way, that's why I don't have to teach from any of these so-called classical books that these other brothers read from who can't break it down. All right? Where did Allah say that Islam is based on what some classical man wrote? Who never met the prophet or the companions? You new shahadas, y'all better learn your deen before you try to challenge somebody who's lived it all their life. Not a convert either, all their life. And who's willing to die for it. And I do mean literally die for it. Are you? All right. Questions or comments? The doctor's right. I feel good, Fresno. Fresno, I let that off my chest. I ain't holding back no more. Learn to pick on somebody else, not Layla. Y'all got any questions? Everybody understand what you need to do? If you want Allah to change your life to something better, do y'all see what y'all got to do? Let me see something. Hold on. I don't even know. Girl, look at all them people in there. Yeah, it's a bunch of them in there. Sister Sanat said, how many people you got in Zoom? Girl, there they are. A bunch of lumps on the wall as usual. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Brother Ibrahim. Okay, yeah, tell me how you did it. Let's see how he did it today, guys. Go ahead, Ibrahim. Okay. 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 Let me ask y'all. Let's see if they can get it right. This is what he did. He wants to know that he do it right this time. He said he made the Isha prayer after making the Isha prayer, he performed 2 rakats. 4 hours later, he decided. Yeah, go ahead. I'm just reading as you type. 4 hours later, I decided to pray 2 nafils. That means 2 voluntary prayers. Then an hour after that, I prayed 2 more voluntary prayers. And then right before Fajr, I prayed 1 rakat. I stopped there. What's the answer? Okay, what's the answer there, guys? Did he do right with that?
Yes, he did. He did.
Yes, he did.
Good job. Yes, you did. Okay, he's still typing. Hold on. Good job. Adhan for Fajr. I pray 2 rakats. Then I make Iqamah. And I prayed 2 more rakats. And then I prayed Fajr. Was this good? What do y'all think?
Yes, really good.
2 rakats was supposed to be before the comma.
He said he prayed 2 rakats after Adhan. Then he made Iqamah. And he prayed 2 more rakats. Anything wrong with that?
That was correct.
Yeah, that's correct. It is. And then he prayed Fajr.
Wait a minute.
Oh no.
2, 4, 6 sounds like he's done 6. From what I'm hearing, I'm confused now.
So he did the 2 sunnah. He did the 2 rakats that you can do in between the adhan and the comma. That's what I thought. That's what I written down. But
That's correct. That's correct.
Fajr, right?
Yes. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that. He's correct.
Okay.
Remember, and I'm going to talk about that with y'all again. The prophet, no, he did it right. He did it right. Remember, I told you guys, the prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there in between every adhan and iqamah are 2 rakats. Whenever the adhan is pronounced for a prayer, if you want to pray 2 rakats before the iqamah of any prayer, you can. Good job, brother. Good job, brother Ibrahim. And then he prayed his sunnah prayers. And then he prayed his Fajr. So he did it correctly. And he's a new Shahada. You born again Muslims forgot. Good job, brother Ibrahim. He listened to me. So I want y'all to remember that, and we're going to talk about that on Monday. I'm going to go over that again about those 2 rakats. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there's 2 rakats between every adhan and every iqamah. That's why I told you guys, you got some Muslims that think that there are 2 sunnahs of Asr. There are not 2 sunnahs of Asr. The hadiths where you see in Sahih Muslim, where the companions say that the adhan was called for Asr, and the Prophet prayed 2 rakats before the iqamah, he was praying the 2 rakats that every prayer has that you can pray before the iqamah of every prayer. Remember I told y'all that the other day? Y'all forgot that, Anissa?
I remembered.
Okay, good job, Layla. I think you got it. Yeah, you and Mina. I think you and Mina were the only ones that got it right. Exactly. Yeah. That's why a lot of people keep mistaking that hadith as being Sunnahs of Asr. No, that's the 2 rakats that every prayer has after the adhan, before the iqamat. Yeah. Y'all got it? Good job, bro. Why are there? Okay, let me ask your question, Brother Amir. Brother Amir wants to know, why come I can't pray 2 sunnahs after Fajr? Can anybody answer that?
After Fajr is the sunrise.
Exactly, because you're trying to, yeah, you don't want to be caught with the sun rising. Technically, you can. I'm gonna be honest, guys. Technically, you can make voluntary prayers whenever you want to. Do y'all understand that? Okay. You can perform voluntary prayers. I can make 2 voluntary prayers right now if I want to. 2 rakats whenever I want. But you don't make them when the sun is rising, when the sun is setting, or when it's at its zenith. And as far as Fajr, you got to be careful that you're not making them rakats when the sun is rising. Okay? But technically, he could if he wanted to. If he wanted to make 2 rakats after Fajr, to ask Allah for something, he could. He's not doing the sunnahs of Fajr. He's just doing 2 voluntary rakats. Remember, we talked about that. The voluntary prayers can either be general or specific. The general means anytime. I can pray him any number at any time. Specific is the sunnah rakats of a prayer. He done prayed the sunnah rakats of Fajr. If he wanted to pray 2 rakats after, he can. But those are not the sunnahs of Fajr. Those are just voluntary, as he called it, nafil. Good job. He used the Arabic word nafil, rakat. Yes. But I can make two rakats whenever I want to, or 4, or whatever. Those are the general voluntary prayers. They can be as many rakats as you want at any time you want, because they're general, they're not specific. Okay.
Also, is that the same thing as, you know how sometimes you get up late for Fajr and Fajr's about to leave, and then you just went ahead and prayed Fajr, and then later you decide, okay, let me do the 2 rakats that I missed for Fajr.
You can do that. That's making up. That's making up. No, but I'm talking about voluntary prayers fall in 2 categories. Either a general, which means it can be as many rakats as you want, prayed whenever you want. Then the other voluntary prayers are specific. That's a specific rakat number for a specific prayer. So if you're making up a prayer, is that a specific or is that a general?
That's a specific.
Right. So that's specific. I'm talking about general. You can pray 2 rakats or 4 rakats whenever you want to. Like Bilal. Bilal used to make 2 rakats after wudu. That's not a prayer. That's not something from the Sunan. That's something that he did. He prayed 2 rakats. That wasn't specific. He liked to make 2 rakats after making wudu. That's his business. Okay? That's general. When I used to work 3rd shift and I do a double, I would always make 2 rakats before I went to sleep when I got home. Just because I like to. That's general. Right now, if I wanted to make something. Okay, but specific are the Sunan rakats of a prayer. That's different. Yeah, good job. I'm proud of you for that. You did a good job on that. You finally got it. Yeah. Okay, any other questions or comments? Boy, we cover everything, don't we? We talk about prayer and everything else here, don't we? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, any other questions? Okay, guys, we got Dr. Dramali. He canceled his class for tonight because he's flying back from Texas to Florida. Yeah, so we're not going to have the 9 o'clock class. Let me go on here. Yeah, I was waiting before let me make sure. Let me make sure he didn't change it. Yeah, he sent me a picture of his flight schedule. Yeah. Yeah. So no class for Dr. Dramali. In fact, let me go on here and cancel it out. It was under the shade. Yeah, this was it. I'm going to delete it. Right. So this is it for Saturday. Yeah. I was going to try to fill in for him. But my phone is ringing, got the ringing off the hook with my mother and stuff. So, I think it's best I don't. Yeah. Deal with this. But yes, tomorrow we have the kids. And by the way, guys, make sure y'all buy the book. How many of you bought the book on My First Prayer? That's written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd. I'm going to be starting that book up in a couple of weeks. Yeah, we got the Sunnahfollowers kids class at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And then we have my class at 6:30. And then we have Brother Mukhtar's class, Khalid bin Walid. And then we have the marriage. Wait a minute, what's this? Okay. What's this? My mother. Girl, look at her. Now my mother's sending all these pictures. Lord have mercy. So you will be told. Girl. Oh, okay, guys. I'm gonna log out for tonight, and inshallah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Sister Layla, I want to make a comment.
Yeah.
You know that man who reached out to you and says you should be teaching these books? He has to understand that everybody has a different dawah, and your dawah is for targeting women, the new shahada, and reprogramming us who learned the deen and didn't. So I'm getting reprogrammed, like.
Exactly.
So that's your dawah, and I think you're doing a beautiful job with that. I would just tune that person out.
I did.
Like if they want to teach those books, they can go and teach those.
That's what I told them too. That's why I told them go teach. That ain't gonna confuse me with somebody else. Everybody's unique. My dawah ain't like nobody else's. And when I die, ain't nobody gonna be able to replace me. Just like when Sheikh El-Bani died, nobody replaced him. We all different. Everybody got their own approach and their own style. I don't imitate nobody. I'm unique. Oh, well, I'm still alive. By the way, guys, be sure to join us in the Zoom room so y'all can see what go on. Oh, wait, where's that video? so y'all can see. That's what goes on behind the scenes. Where that thing at, y'all? Hold on. I got it. Wait, where's my bill?
And remember to donate to this dial.
Yeah, I told him. Yeah. Y'all hear that? Y'all donate too. But wait, where is it at, y'all? That thing I got the way it shows a picture of me and Fresno and Layla. You know I got that video of us. I can't.
You know what? You should use that word reprogramming.
Yeah,
we have been programmed.
Yeah,
You're like reprogramming, rewiring our way of thinking.
Yeah, here it is, y'all. By the way, the Zoom room is open, and here we go. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. And don't forget to join us in the 24-hour Zoom room for behind the scenes access.
Did y'all see that? That was her talking. The one that's underneath, that was Layla. She's underneath me. That was Fresno, Sabrine, and Layla. Yeah. See what goes on behind the scenes? Oh, you want me to play it again? Okay, so Nat wants to see it again. Okay, here it is. Yeah, I done lost it. Yeah, that's her talking. That's Layla in the video. She's underneath me in the thing. Let me show it. Ain't she pretty? Yeah, she looks young, don't she? She said, you look like you 20. She said, you look like you about 20. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. And don't forget to join us in the 24-hour Zoom room for behind the scenes access.
She say, Amina Fresno look like she about to beat somebody. Yeah, that's Layla. Don't she like a little girl, don't she? Yeah, and yeah, that's Amina Fresno. So now, this is my cousin, y'all, DNA cousin. Yeah, that's that. She look mean. And she say, Fresno look mean. Yeah, that's the Zoom room. Yeah, we be on it, honey. Behind the scenes.
About it look mean, Layla.
And what? You see that picture the video I just showed?
You know the Zoom room picture.
You remember how you looked all mean in that video, Fresno?
What video y'all talking about?
Oh my God.
Behind the scenes
The
of
behind the
Zoom
scenes.
room.
And you, me, Sabrina, and Layla.
Remember, she just took our pictures randomly.
I'll show it.
We were just like talking.
Let me log out and show it to you. I'll show it to y'all. Let me log